Hello Kaiju fans, welcome back to the Kaiju World Order. My name is MM, and today I'm just gonna do a little video just expressing my opinions and thoughts on Ultraman Omega. Now that we are about 1/3 the way through with the series, time really does fly. And so far, like, we just came off of the recap episode. We are going on to episode 10 as I'm recording this. And so far it's been a pretty enjoyable series. Not the best, definitely not the worst of the new generation stuff. So far I'd put it around Ultraman Taiga, maybe Ultraman X in terms of just enjoyment out of it. There's a lot of cool new monsters in it. The new hero is also pretty cool. But it's also very safe. They're definitely not trying anything new with this like they did some of the better series from New Gen, like Orb and Geed. The Ultra in this series, Ultraman Omega, does not have a human host that he merges with. Instead, he's more akin to Ultra 7, who just transforms into a human form. However, this is the first time where the main Ultra has amnesia throughout at least the beginning of the series. And it's played off as something important, but it's not really important yet at all. So far, we just know that he lost his memory, assumingly while he was fighting the bug sex. And then he came to Earth that never saw an Ultraman, that never saw Kaiju before, and doesn't know why he's there, what he's doing there. He does remember the names of different Kaiju, which kind of lines up with the whole multiverse of Ultraman where Kaiju are just everywhere. But it's never explained what he is. Like, we don't know if he's, say, just another Ultra Warrior that's been dispatched. We don't know if maybe he's a specialist or a scientist. With his very unique face, which is a lot like Ultraman Zerth and Redman before him, it's a very unique look. So I'm hoping they at least explore this in the remaining episodes of the series and flesh out just really what he is, because this whole amnesia bit is starting to get a little old. And another thing that it's been played off about as much as it can be for me, and that is this recurring joke that Serato, the human form of Omega, is almost constantly hungry. Yeah, there's funny scenes, and when it's like first done, it's funny, but after about 4 or 5 of these jokes in every single episode, it's starting to just get a little bit annoying. I get it, he has a bottomless pit for a stomach. The next main character is Kosei, or Kosei, I think it's Kosei. I'm horrible at pronouncing Japanese names, I apologize. But he is this young adult that befriends Omega and is the only human that knows he can transform. He's trying his best to hide that fact, and that's all we really know. He has his own place, and apparently he just bums off of somebody to live in a warehouse. And he's always going on about money and needing stuff, but we don't know anything really about this guy, besides the fact that he just lives on his own. 9 episodes in, it's not too surprising. I mean, Ultraman it's made for kids. Nobody's watching these shows for super in-depth characters, but some of this is just starting to get kind of insultingly dumb, and just flesh out these characters just a little bit. And then finally For the last character, there is Ayumo. She's the girl of the group, and she's smart, and she's the scientist. We know she was a biologist, then when the kaiju started popping up, the government or powers that be recruited her to study the monsters and effectively turn her into a kaijuologist. Now, there is no defense team of this series, but there has been confirmation that from episode 11 and going forward, there will be a defense team. I do not know what it's actually called. I'm hoping this will address some of my issues with the characters and not just introduce all new ones that are even worse, because we've already seen what a really bad cast of characters can do to a new gen show. Just check out Ultraman Trigger or Ultraman Rube. They are almost unbearable to watch of how badly the human cast is. But nobody really watches Ultraman for the human cast. We're all here for the monsters, the kaiju. And thankfully, just like every series of New Gen has, the monsters just are always the best factor for any of these shows. And so I just want to do a quick recap of the different monsters we've seen so far, 9 episodes in, starting from the beginning with the Vugsects. Obviously, play on bug and insect. It's a very lazy name. We see Omega fighting these in the very first episode, including a giant-sized one, and he eventually crash lands on Earth. We don't know what these really are. They seem to be set up for the future. I would not be surprised to see them pop up. If not near the end and the finale, probably in the movie, or even in something with a Ultra Galaxy fight. These are pretty cool monsters, just generic bugs. There's nothing really to write home about. And then also appearing in the first episode is this monster, Grime. This is actually just a tiny little figure that came out for the Ultra Monster Advanced line of that thing. And Grime is just a subterranean monster with a big drill on its head. The claws of it actually remind me a lot of Gaggy, which is from Ultraman Tiga. Only he could extend whips between his massive claws. Unfortunately, Grime doesn't have any ability like that, but he can just rotate his claws backwards and then walk on all fours. After Grime, there's actually my personal favorite of all the new monsters so far in Omega, and that is Dugrid. This thing is just a huge newt salamander thing. It's a recycled suit from the previous series, and it's just a very unique looking monster. I love when Tsuburaya does these crazier suits that test the boundaries of what can actually be pulled off with just typical man-in-suit effects. And Dugrid is one I'm hoping we see more of, if not in Omega, maybe in the future. And stop adjusting the suit, because I think they found a winner for this type of design. The next monster is Pegunos, and Pegunos is a penguin monster. It is a homage to monsters like Pegula and Chandlar from the original Ultraman. Very cool looking suit, and has ice powers and anti-gravity flight mechanics because it's a penguin and they shouldn't be able to fly, so that was their mental gymnastics to be able to get it into the air, is it could just manipulate gravity. Wonderful Ultraman writing, but you gotta love it. And then also in this same episode is when the first Meteor Kaiju appeared, which is Reckinus. And Reckinus, so far, we don't really know their real connection with Omega. They seem to be a lot like Ultra 7's old Capsule Kaiju, which are virtually Pokemon, without actually being Pokemon, but how Omega acquired them, we don't know. We don't know if they're his actual pets. And if they are his pets, why are they imprinting on his human best friend and not on Serato himself? And they can also turn into assorted armors. I really like the Reckoness armor for Omega. It is probably the figure art that I will end up picking up to represent this series on my shelves. After Reckoness, we move on to... I butcher this thing's name. Thresnosaurus. It's a Thresnosaurus Kaiju. Somebody was watching Jurassic World Dominion at Subraya and had a brilliant idea. When I first saw the design of this thing, I was iffy on it, especially because it's a recycled Magabasser suit from Ultraman Orb and a couple series after that. And I really like that monster, so seeing them just kind of regurgitate the suit into something new. Didn't like it at first, but upon seeing it in action, it's really good. The movements of this monster feel very natural. It's a very cool, unique dinosaur kaiju, and it's also feathered, which may be the first feathered dinosaur kaiju in Toku history. I might be wrong on that though, but I know it is for at least Ultraman. Now I'm probably proven wrong after saying that, but oh well. So after this thing is a snake monster, and I am not even going to try to say its name because it's just huge, and I know. So this snake monster is actually my least favorite of all the new monsters in Omega, and it's also just a big disappointment in general. I've been waiting for a good snake kaiju for a while, and I don't mean like Manda, I mean like a solid snake monster, a giant rattlesnake or an anaconda or a titanoboa or whatever. And when I first saw the screenshots for this, I was like, alright. Yeah, the effects for making it move, it was bad. The design is just bad. The episode was kind of blah as well, and as I said, this was just a letdown all around for me. After the snake, we ended up getting into Gadrago, which is another recycled suit that was once a Teleston suit that got turned into an electric rat kaiju for Arc, and is now back again as a pink mole kaiju. There are two of these in the episode, a male and a female, and yeah, that's really it. There's not much to really say about these anymore. I wish it would have had a more basic color scheme. I'd have probably liked it more, especially since the previous rodent was like purple colored, which is just a weird color for a rodent like this. Now these are just bright pink despite living deep underground. It's... why? I just don't get it. And then the last new monster that we've seen now is the second Medio Kaiju, Trigoron. Trigoron is just like Reckoness. We don't get really any information on how these two are connected and how they are connected to Omega as a whole yet. Just like Reckoness, he has imprinted on Serato's friend and can also be turned into armor, and instead of giving Omega a sword like Reckoness does, he gets pretty much giant mechanical claws. They're very similar in design to Ultraman X's claws from about a decade ago, but at this point I guess they're probably running out of ideas. I do wish they would get away from the swords, at least for a series or two. An Ultra with a giant warhammer could be cool, right? I'd rather see that now than another sword. And That's all the new Kaiju. But there has been 3 returning Kaiju so far. Gomora, who is nice to see come back in just typical vanilla Gomora flavor. As much as I like Skull Gomora and Sphere Gomora and EX and all these other Gomora variants we've gotten over the years, a plain Gomora episode is welcomed. It's just unfortunate that they killed him off. I'll get to that here in a little bit, and why I feel that way about this so far. And then afterward, we had Monsarger, who was originally an Ultraman Dyna Kaiju, and then came back for Ultraman Decker, and now his suit was just laying around, so they tossed him in this too, and they did a pretty cool, unique story with him, where he's not just an alien weapon. Instead, he's trapped in what amounts to a interdimensional junkyard. It's a pretty cool episode. Again, I'll get into the death of him. And then also Gubala. And Gubala is a monster that I am just so sick and tired of. It's a stupid looking monster. I didn't like it when I was a kid. I can't believe that it's become so popular and has appeared in so many new series since New Gen began all the way back in like 2013. And this was probably the only Gubala episode I can say I really liked. The new powers they gave him with the explosive energy bubbles and stuff like that was pretty well done. They didn't do the whole thing that almost every other series does, where he catches an energy disc on his drill horn and tosses it aside. And it was just a cool episode. But yeah, Gubala could have been replaced by just about anything. Honestly, I would have welcomed another Pagos or Naranga episode over Gubala again. But no series is perfect. But I wanted to go back to Ultraman Omega and his finishing of Kaiju. One thing I've noticed with this series is, unlike almost all the other New Gen series, when it comes to the monsters, a lot of the heroes in the past have been, oh, we only destroy them if we absolutely need to. Omega over here is just slaughtering them left and right, like old school Showa Ultraman. You're a giant monster and I'm gonna kill you. There's no in between. Even monsters that were woken up by him or his weapons or pet's arrival, like Gomora, just get killed by the end of the episode because they're mad because they got woken up. The same thing happened with Monsarger, who was literally just in its own little dimension, just vibing until humans came in and got threatened, and then Omega had to pop up and kill it. I think it would be a mindfuck, but I doubt it will happen if it's revealed that Omega is some sort of kaiju hunter and puts him at odds with some of the other heroes. Doubt it will happen, but I think it would be very cool. And as I said at the beginning of this, Omega's been a pretty fun series so far. If you're looking for a serious, dark, moody Ultraman piece, this ain't it. This is New Gen. This is made specifically to sell toys. And I have no problem with that. I look forward to the rest of the series. I'll probably do another recap once we get past the next, I don't know, third of the series. Probably another 10 episodes or so. And until next time, Kaiju fans, peace out. And Minya, you can still take it.
Zilla says you should like and subscribe.